Well, there's one story dominating tonight. Arne Slot has addressed Mohamed Salah's explosive interview for the first time and said he has no clue if Salah will play for Liverpool again. Well, Salah's teammate, goalkeeper Alisson, also faced the media this evening and is hoping that there is a way back for the Egyptian.
I think it's not an easy situation, but as a group, we take as best as we can take. Of course, we have the personal relationship with him. Talking about myself now, I've been playing with Mo since I came to Europe, 1 year in Roma, and now 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, at Liverpool. He's a great guy, great character. He's a legend for Liverpool FC. We achieved so many things together, and of course, personally, it's not something that makes me happy. But we have in football, we don't have too much time to stay moaning about any situation. We have a big challenge tomorrow, a big team to play against, Inter Milan. Him not being available, I think, is just a consequence of what he did. I didn't spoke tomorrow about it, and I will have a conversation. But again, this is going to be private, and because it's personal.
So how together is the dressing room overall?
Yeah, as I said, as good as we can be. I think all the players, they were going to have different thoughts about the situation, and that's okay. But we know the challenges we are facing at this moment, not performing well, not having good results, and that's being difficult enough for us. Those are big challenges for us to try to change the situation.
Mo said that he felt he'd been thrown under the bus by the club at the moment. Is that how you see it, or do you see it differently?
I think the manager was really wise in his answer, and I agree with him. I don't know what that means. Maybe you have to ask more what he means about that.
And do you think he will play for the club again?
I don't think anything. What I hope that he plays again for the club, but that's a personal situation. That's a situation between Mo and the club. We, as his teammates, as his friends, we hope the best thing happens for him. But as Liverpool FC players, we want the best for the club as well. So it's we want a win-win situation for everyone.
Lewis, Mo's obviously made it quite clear how he has his relationship with the manager. Would you say your relationship is still good with the manager?
Yeah, my relationship is good with the manager, yeah.
Wayne Rooney said that Mo Salah had disrespected his teammates. Do you feel disrespected?
I haven't seen what he said, so I don't like to comment on things that I didn't heard myself. It can have an impact. It's not something small. It's Mo Salah. I think what's happening now here tells about the situation. But again, we are grown-up men. We understand that this is a personal situation for Mo.
By his comments?
No, I don't believe that is his goal to disrespect anyone. Football things happen so quick. We play every 3 days. We just won the Premier League. Amazing achievement, and now we are here in this situation. Not the situation we wanted to be, but we have to deal with that, and that's how football works.
As a squad, the rest of you, are you still fully behind Arne?
Of course, yeah, we are.
If so, what gives you that belief that he will turn things around?
We believe in his knowledge. We believe in his style of playing, that he is capable of helping us to turn around this situation.
Hi guys, Vinny could start us off, please.
As always.
Yeah, always. Arne, obviously, I have to ask you about the other night and what Mo Salah had to say in light of the Leeds game. First of all, do you feel he was referring to you when he said he feels like he's been thrown under the bus and that someone wants him out? And how do you feel overall about what he's had to say? What is your response, even particularly given he said that your relationship with him had broken down?
You knew you only got 3 questions, so you thought, let's ask 5 questions in one question.
It's kind of in different parts, isn't it, A, B, C?
So now, which question would you like me to answer first?
Well, do you feel he was referring to you when he talked about being thrown under the bus? And
the only one who can answer that question is Mo himself, so I can guess, but I don't think that's the right thing to do in this moment of time. So it's hard for me to tell who he means in that situation, to be honest.
So have you spoken to him then, and how do you feel about what he's had to say overall as well? Again, going back to the fact that he said that your relationship with him had broken down.
We let him know that he's not traveling with us. So that was the only communication that's been there from us to him. Of course, before Saturday, the two of us have spoken a lot. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And then your second question was?
Do you feel that your relationship has broken down with him?
No, that's not the way I feel. But he has the right to feel how he feels things. I haven't felt that at all till Saturday evening for sure, because I think when I didn't play him anymore, usually players don't like the manager then that much, but he was very respectful to my staff members, to his teammates, and he trained really hard. So to an extent, it was a surprise for me that when I heard after the game that he gave the comments he gave. But as I said, it's not the first and not the last time that when a player doesn't play, he I'm not sure if he was emotional or not, but that he says something something similar to what he did. But I think my reaction to that is also clear, and that's that he's not here with us tonight.
Will he be considered for selection against Brighton at the weekend? And what will it take to resolve this situation long term now?
No, I think we are sitting here on an evening before a big game, a big fixture for us, Inter Milan, and there was only now maybe 36 hours between the moment we've conceded the 3-3 against Leeds and the moment I'm sitting here now. And I think you can understand as well that I've tried to prepare my team in the best possible way for the game tomorrow evening. So the most thoughts I had are about tomorrow. And in the meantime, we've decided what I just said, not to take him with us to this game. And after tomorrow, we will look at the situation again.
Richard.
Can you approach more the micro, please?
I can hear you, yeah.
You say it's a short term to be out of the squad, and you look at it. You see a scenario where
I'm a firm believer that there's always a possibility to return for a player. So, but that's not. So yeah, I can leave it with that, I think.
And how was his reaction in the conversation you had today?
A short one.
Ian Dennis, 5 Live.
Hi, Anna. You say that you've spoken to Mo quite a few times in recent weeks. I just wonder, he was a substitute twice in his first 18 games this season. What or why has he then only been on the bench for the last 3 games? What prompted that change?
I think we as a team struggled this season and already last season more and more with the game plans other teams had against us. So I'm not only talking about the long ball style, which is something team mainly do against us now. So I've tried to come up with solutions because this is my job, and we've tried many things. We looked very vulnerable, in my opinion, after all the things I've tried against Forest and against PSV. And then I decided to play with an extra midfielder in the game against West Ham, where we won the game. So I decided to do it one more time against Sunderland, where at half time I brought him in. And against Leeds we faced a 5-3-2, where I've decided to play a 4-4-2 diamond, if you want to look at it like this, with Hugo Ekitike a bit off the right side and Cody Gakpo a bit off the left, with Florian Wirtz in between. And I could have played Mo as well off the right instead of Hugo, but I decided to play Hugo.
Hand on heart, do you think he's played his last game for Liverpool?
I have no clue. I cannot answer that question at this moment of time.
James Pearce.
Oh, no, it's been such a difficult time for the team anyway. This has heaped more negativity on it. Do you feel like your authority has been undermined? Do you feel let down? Again, 2 questions in one.
I don't feel my authority is undermined. Is that the way you say it? It's not the way I feel it. And the second question was?
Just in terms of, does it make your life even more difficult during such a difficult period anyway?
If that was even possible. But it's not about me. If my life is difficult, yes or no, that's not very important in a situation like this. It is if it's more difficult for the team and for the club. And I think no one likes us to be in the situation we are in at the moment. First of all, it's difficult to see that staff members that work so hard on a daily basis, they are affected by the situation we're in now as well. Mainly because of the results, second of all, about what this has done as well. So that's not a good thing for us as a team. And that is where I'm mostly, where my thoughts go to, not towards me. I'm totally not, okay, because I'm the manager, I have to pick a team, so to a certain extent I'm important in this situation as well. But the focus that I have at the moment is completely on the team and not on me at all.
Question each for Adam, Lewis, Hamza.
Hi, Anna. When Mo said that he felt he was thrown under the bus, do you understand that frustration? Do you understand why he would say such things?
Then I should know what he exactly means with it. So, and that is difficult for me to know what he exactly means with it and why he says this and who he's referring to. And
so you've not had that conversation?
No, not what he meant with those words. No, we just. So I think usually I'm calm and polite, but it doesn't mean I'm weak. So if a player has these comments about so many things, then it's about us as a club to react, and we reacted in a way you can see now that he's not here.
Arne, do you think it's obviously a frustrating situation for you personally, but do you think you could have done anything differently to avoid this happening, to avoid it getting to this point where Mo feels like he has to go and vent his frustrations?
Then I should find out exactly why he said what he said, and but then I have to guess a little bit if that's not only because he doesn't play. Then the answer to your question could be just play him every single time. But maybe that's not the reason why he said what he said. Maybe there's something else why he has this opinion. But if it is, but that I don't know. Is it about me not playing him? Yeah, then the answer could be what could I have done differently playing him. But maybe that's not the reason why he thinks and feels this way. And he has every right to feel what he feels. But he doesn't have the right to share it with the media. He has that right, but then it's up to us to react on it.
Hamza.
Hi, Anna. When was the last time that you spoke to Salah? Just because Salah mentioned that his relationship with you had broken. Are you on speaking terms?
Yes, we were. Yeah, but it doesn't mean we were always agreeing on things. But I spoke to him twice in the week before, in the 2 days before Leeds. So
have you spoken to him since Leeds?
No, I already said that a few times. Yeah, he was on a training ground today, and I told him that he didn't travel. Yeah. But that's not speaking to someone, in my opinion. Yeah, that is speaking to someone, but it's not having a conversation in your room. But I had that twice in the lead up towards Leeds. One a little bit longer and one a bit shorter, but I'm not going to go into the details. That's going to be the next question. But,
sorry, just to clarify, you mean when you say you spoke, it was just to the group and he was there? Is that what you mean? In training?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not specifically.
Yeah, I communicated towards him that he wasn't travelling. Yeah.
Thank you.
Guys, I think we should finish questions on Mo. We've done 10 minutes on Mo, so if we could focus on the game now. So, at the front
just
on the
the
game.
Just the last one.
No, not on Mo, on the game.
Okay, so let's pass to the game. Coach, to face a team like Inter with so many winning streak, what's the challenge between that for a team that is having a tough time like yours?
That we face a very good and strong team that has done really well this season in the league and in the Champions League. That has been a big force in the Champions League for the last 3 seasons. Twice playing the final and once going out on penalties against Atletico Madrid, which unfortunately we did last season against Paris Saint-Germain. So we know we're going to face a very strong team tomorrow, and that's always the biggest challenge there is in a game. It's always the team you face and the individuals you face, and they have a very disciplined team, a very experienced team as well, and a lot of quality.
Good evening. As far as I know, Cody Gakpo and Federico Chiesa did not arrive today to Milan. Why?
Federico is ill, so that is poor timing, you could say. But yeah, it's not something you can do anything about. So we are monitoring his situation. If he has an amazing recovery, which we doctors don't expect, he might travel tomorrow. But let's have a fair expectation. That's not what I expect. Cody Gakpo unfortunately picked up an injury in the last game we played against Leeds, and he will be out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Hi, Tancredi Palmieri, Sport Italia. Mr. Slot, I wanted to ask you first, what do you see different in this Inter trained by Christian Chivo compared to the one that reached the Champions League final last year? And then listening to your answer, if you can be more specific on the illness of Federico Chiesa, I mean, why is injured?
Well, it's difficult to be more specific. I don't know if anyone wants to hear what he exactly has. But he came in this morning.
We'll speak to you after.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So he's ill. If you're very interested in what he exactly has, then yeah. And the other question was, I see more similarities than differences. So same system. I think I'm correct if I say all of them the same players. Am I correct then?
Almost.
What I expect as a starting lineup, let's put it that way.
As a starting lineup, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So probably he did a few things he brought into the team himself, but I think the way they press high up the pitch, lower up the pitch, I see more similarities than I see differences between Inzaghi and Chivo. But I think it's quite normal if you take over a team that plays the Champions League final, and then there's every reason to keep doing what you are doing, in my opinion.
The middle.
Good evening, Filippo Conticello, Gazzetta dello Sport. What do you think about Christian Chivo, a young coach that is growing a lot in this season, and his football style in this new Inter?
Yeah. Now, if I think about Christian Chivo, I think about the player because he played at Ajax. I even think I played against him. Very good defender, but also very comfortable on the ball, and I think you can see this with his team as well. So his team defends really aggressive in a high press, can defend the box. Maybe has no other team in the world, but are also able to bring the ball out from the back. So a lot of things that he characteristics that he had as a player that I can see in his team as well.
Last question at the back.
Good evening, Mrs. Slot. I'm Alessia Scurati for Tuttosport. I would like to ask you, we cannot see Chiesa this time on the pitch, but since you've seen it in the last weeks and in the last months, training all days with you and with the team. In the last week, Italy's manager, Gennaro Gattuso, said that the only reason why he is not coming with the Italian national team is because while they're speaking, Federico Chiesa said he is still not feeling good enough in this moment to come back. So I would like to ask you, do you think that the moment which he will be able to come back, or when he was feeling good enough to come back, is near? And would you like to see him in the Italian national team? Do you think that he has all the cards right enough to come back with the Italian national team? Thank you.
It's not easy to answer. I think he has, but I don't think it's up to me to decide who should be selected for the national team of Italy or Holland or England. I'm very happy to see that Federico is in a much better place this season than he was last season. He struggled a lot last season with his fitness, and this season he's been much fitter than he was last season, and as a result of that he also has had more playing time than he had last season, and the moments that he played he also had a few very good moments. So like I said, it's up to the Italian manager to decide if he wants to select him, yes or no. But yeah, I like him as a player and I like him as a person, so that's it.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta has made it clear that Arsenal will need to unleash their complete player against Bayern Munich. The Gunners host the German champions at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday, and one man in particular could be decisive. Ebereki Eze, described as a very complete player by teammate Mikel Merino, is emerging as one of Arsenal's most dangerous weapons ahead of their Champions League clash with Bayern. The 27-year-old announced himself in North London with a stunning hat-trick in his first derby since arriving in a £67.5 million move from Crystal Palace. His 3 brilliant goals dismantled Tottenham, and truthfully, he could have scored even more. Merino believes every one of Arsenal's 8 summer signings has lifted the squad's level, helping the team build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. But Wednesday's matchup is different. Bayern Munich, the reigning Bundesliga champions, represent the toughest test yet for Arteta's side. Speaking after the win over Spurs, Mourinho praised Iza's qualities and hinted at the impact he could have in such a high-stakes European battle. "We've brought in a lot of players who can make a difference. But you can see that other teams have spent big as well," the Spain international said. "Individual brilliance can win matches, sure, but in the end, it's the team that matters. If you have great players who don't connect, that's a problem. The good thing about this group is that everyone thinks about the team first." When asked about Ease specifically, Mourinho didn't hesitate. "I think he's incredibly complete. He can dribble, he can pass, and his technical quality is outstanding. In Spain, we always talk about players who can connect with others. He has that naturally. He grew up with that instinct to link play, move the ball, and build relationships on the pitch. He also has the mindset to get involved, demand the ball, and influence the game. At the same time, he's strong, he can take players on, and he can finish. He's a truly complete signing." Mourinho also touched on how the modern game often reduces players to simple numbers. "These days everyone judges players by goals and assists, that's just how it is. But as footballers, we see the deeper qualities he brings, the technique, the movement, the intelligence. Even in training, you can tell immediately how special he is. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's much more than that. He's an exceptional player, and we're incredibly lucky to have him. He can play in several positions and adapt to different systems. He's been a huge addition for Arsenal." Beyond the technical qualities, Mourinho believes Iza's attitude, and the healthy competition within the squad, will be crucial in Arsenal's title push. You can hear the calm in Eberechi's voice and see it in the way he carries himself. He's confident, grounded, and every morning we sit together in the sauna at the training ground and talk about everything, he added with a smile. "He's a great guy, already fully integrated, and we need players like him. Competition is fierce. There's so much quality in this squad. That's exactly what the manager wanted, as many top players as possible, all ready to play. It makes his decisions tough, choosing who starts and who doesn't, but it also pushes every one of us to give our best in every session. And that's why we're improving as a team." As Arsenal prepare for Bayern's arrival, Arteta is facing one of the most delicate balancing acts of the season. The squad is healthy, competition is fierce, and expectations have never been higher. But behind the scenes, there is a growing sense that Iza's versatility and calm presence may be essential against a Bayern side known for controlling the tempo in big European nights. Arteta himself has hinted at Iza's importance without naming him directly. After the Tottenham victory, the manager spoke about the need for players who can break pressure, dictate rhythm, and stay composed when the game becomes chaotic. Those inside the club believe those comments were aimed at Iza as much as anyone. The coaching staff has been particularly impressed by how quickly he has adapted to Arsenal's positional play structure, a system that demands far more tactical discipline than what he was used to at Crystal Palace. Analysts at the club point to his growing influence not only in the final third, but also in build-up phases, where his ability to glide past pressure could help Arsenal bypass Bayern's aggressive midfield line. There is also an awareness that Bayern's fullbacks tend to push high, leaving spaces between the lines. Iza's skill set, sharp turns, deceptive acceleration, and precise final balls, could be exactly what Arteta needs to exploit those gaps. Outside the club, pundits have already started circling Wednesday's match as a defining moment for the £67.5 million signing. Some believe that if Iza can impose himself on a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich, it will confirm his arrival among Europe's elite creative players. Former players have echoed that sentiment. Several ex-Arsenal figures, speaking on television over the weekend, highlighted the need for someone who can change the temperature of the match with a moment of calm or an unexpected burst of creativity. Iza, they argued, is one of the few in the squad capable of both. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich come into the match with their own confidence. Their midfield trio has been one of the most dominant in Europe this season, and they have shown a repeated ability to suffocate opponents early. That dynamic is precisely why Arteta may lean on Iza's composure. When the game tightens, Arsenal will need a player capable of slowing it down, protecting the ball, and finding solutions in tight spaces. Within Arsenal's dressing room, Mourinho's praise reflects a broader consensus. Senior players have reportedly been struck by Iza's humility and work ethic, qualities that have helped him integrate seamlessly into a squad that already had strong internal chemistry. Staff members describe him as someone who never forces the game, and lets the match come to him, characteristics that could prove invaluable in a high-tension Champions League tie. As kickoff approaches, the narrative surrounding the match has shifted. What began as a test of Arsenal's resilience has quietly become a spotlight on whether Eze can elevate them in Europe the same way he has in the Premier League. For Arteta, the equation is simple. If Arsenal are to overcome Bayern, they will need more than intensity. They will need control. They will need creativity. And increasingly, they will need the completeness Eze brings to every phase of the pitch. Whether he starts in a wide role as a floating midfielder, or even as an interior playmaker, the expectation is the same. Eze will have to find the spaces others cannot, and influence the game in ways that statistics alone will not capture. The stakes are high, the opponent is formidable, and the spotlight is intense. But within the walls of London Coney, the belief is growing that this is exactly the kind of stage Ebereki Eze was signed for. Martin Odegaard is nearing a return to action after suffering a medial collateral ligament injury in Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham earlier in October. Yet, 3.5 years after Mikel Arteta named him captain, the Norwegian finds himself in an unfamiliar position. His place in the starting lineup is no longer guaranteed. For the first time since joining the club permanently from Real Madrid in August 2021, there is real debate over whether he remains an automatic choice for Arteta's 11. Odegaard, now 26, has been central to Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta, the conductor who shaped the team's rhythm through some of their most fluid football. But this season, the Gunners have been forced to navigate long stretches without their captain, first due to a shoulder issue that kept him out of 4 matches in September, and then because of a knee collision with West Ham's Crescencio Somerville that sidelined him again. And during his absence, something significant happened. Ebereki Eze stepped into the spotlight. Eze's sensational hat-trick in the North London Derby has complicated the picture. Now thriving in a central role, the England international has given Arsenal a different kind of presence around the edge of the box. A blend of unpredictability, directness, and two-footed confidence that opponents struggle to contain. He may not control games with the same metronomic precision as Odegaard, but he offers a spark, a willingness to take risks at moments when Arsenal need a jolt of creativity. After such a standout performance against Tottenham, it feels almost impossible to imagine Arteta leaving Eze out. The manager has always had a soft spot for players riding a wave of confidence, and Eze is currently surfing at full height. There was a similar situation back in September, when Mikel Merino was handed a start against Manchester City after scoring 4 times in 2 games for Spain, including a hat-trick against Turkey. Arteta doesn't hesitate to reward form. Eze has carried that form onto the international stage as well, recently scoring a stunning goal for England in a 2-0 win over Serbia in the World Cup qualifiers at Wembley. Though he can play on the left, it has always been clear that Arteta brought him to the Emirates to operate in midfield. And with Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi near untouchable in the double pivot, the odds of Eze and Odegaard consistently starting together seem slim. That leaves Odegaard in an unfamiliar position. He needs minutes to rebuild sharpness, yet Arsenal's medical team won't rush him. The plan is likely to ease him back through short substitute appearances before restoring him to larger roles. But even once fully fit, Odegaard faces genuine competition, because Eze has shifted the landscape. His arrival has raised the team's ceiling, and his performances have earned him the right to keep his place. Before the dismantling of Tottenham, Eze had scored only twice for Arsenal, one against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup and another versus his former club Crystal Palace, a clever finish that sealed victory. Now with 5 goals across all competitions, he sits just 1 behind Odegaard's total from last season, when the captain made 45 appearances. Odegaard's 2023-24 numbers were outstanding: 11 goals, 12 assists, influence written across every competition. That is the standard he must match again if he wants to reclaim his spot, because Eze is hungry, confident, and eager to impress ahead of next summer's World Cup. Arteta will insist that Arsenal need both players at their best if they are to meet their ambitions in the months ahead. And with Kai Havertz also working his way back to full fitness, potentially slotting into midfield behind marquee striker Victor Gyökeres, the battle for places has never been fiercer at the Emirates. For Odegaard, the message is clear: he must rise to the challenge. His leadership and quality remain unquestioned, but he can no longer rely on reputation alone. If he embraces the competition and fights his way back into the side, his return could push Arsenal to even greater heights. And if the team has already reached this level without several key figures, the potential for what comes next may be even greater. Inside the club, staff members are quietly acknowledging that Arsenal are entering a new phase, one where no player, not even the captain, is immune to tactical evolution. Arteta has spent the past 2 seasons building a squad capable of sustaining pressure across multiple competitions, and the emergence of ease is a sign that the manager's long-term planning is beginning to bear fruit. Depth is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. But with depth comes difficult decisions. Arteta has always valued balance in midfield, and the contrasting profiles of Odegaard and Ease force him to reconsider what type of midfield best suits the team's ambitions in Europe and the Premier League. The technical control and spatial awareness that Odegaard brings have defined Arsenal's identity under Arteta. Conversely, Ease's dynamism, physical presence, and unpredictable touches give Arsenal a new dimension, especially against teams that sit deep or defend aggressively in central areas. This internal shift has also caught the attention of analysts and former players. Several pundits have begun to question whether the captaincy should guarantee a place in the lineup, especially at a club with ambitions of challenging for the Champions League. Others argue that Odegaard's leadership is too valuable to sideline, pointing to the standards he sets in training and his influence over younger players. Those debates are already spilling into the media, and they will only intensify as the season progresses. There is also the tactical question of whether Arteta might eventually experiment with a system that accommodates both Ease and Odegaard, something he briefly attempted earlier in the season during the win over West Ham. But with Rice and Zubimendi forming an almost impenetrable midfield pairing, any reshuffle risks destabilizing the defensive structure that has made Arsenal one of the most resilient teams in the league. The manager has hinted that he is open to adjustments, but only if they enhance the team's overall cohesion. For Odegaard himself, the challenge is as much psychological as it is physical. He has worked hard to cultivate an image of calm authority, a leader who raises the level of those around him through clarity and consistency. Now he must show that he can adapt, compete, and respond to adversity. His teammates still speak of him with admiration, describing him as one of the most studious and detail-oriented players at London Coney. They believe that once he regains full rhythm, he will naturally reassert his influence. Yet even they acknowledge that the landscape has shifted. One senior player privately remarked that, "The team is different now, Ease has changed what we can do in the final third." That sentiment reflects not a lack of faith in Odegaard, but an understanding that Arsenal have evolved while he has been sidelined. For Arteta, the ideal scenario is straightforward, a fully fit Odegaard competing with a fully confident Ease, creating a level of internal competition that lifts the entire squad. The manager often speaks about the need for healthy tension among his players, pressure that keeps standards high without fracturing unity. The arrival of Victor Gyökeres, combined with the recovery of Havertz, only amplifies that dynamic. Arsenal's season will almost certainly hinge on these midfield decisions. With Champions League knockout matches approaching and the Premier League title race tightening, Arteta must decide not only who starts, but what kind of identity he wants his team to carry into the defining months of the campaign. The next few weeks will reveal whether Odegaard's return sparks a resurgence or a battle for relevance. If he manages to reclaim his place, it could serve as a reminder of why Arteta trusted him with the armband in the first place. If he struggles, it will underline how rapidly Arsenal are progressing, and how little room there is for sentiment at the highest level. Either way, the captain's response will shape not just his future, but the trajectory of a team that believes it is on the brink of something significant.